السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Okay, inshallah. You don't record it anymore, no?
I'm recording it.
Okay, alhamdulillah. جي بسم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فصل. لكن لاستدراك بعد النفي. لكن is for correction after negation. فيكون موجبه إثبات ما بعده. So its obligation will be establishing what is after it. فأما نفي ما قبله فثابت بدليله. As for negating what is before it, it is proven with its proof. والعطف بهذه الكلمة إنما يتحقق عند اتساق الكلام. That the conjunction with this word, it will only be deserved when the speech is consistent. فإن كان الكلام متسقا يتعلق النفي بالإثبات الذي بعده. And when the speech is consistent, then the negation will be connected by affirming what is after it. وإلا فهو مستأنف. And if not, it will be like a new sentence. مثاله.
Okay, before we go to the examples, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. رب اشرح لنا صدورنا ويسر لنا أمورنا واحلل عقدة من ألسنتنا يفقهوا أقوالنا. اللهم نوّر قلوبنا بمعرفتك واشرح صدورنا بنور كتابك وسنة نبيك. رب اشرح لنا صدورنا ويسر لنا أمورنا. آمين. Okay, so now, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, we're continuing with the discussion on the Huruf al-Ma'ani, which is also part of the Haqiqat and Majaz Bayan. We're on the fifth harf, the fifth particle, which is Lakin. We're busy discussing the Huruf al-Atifa. And the fifth one is Lakin. What is Lakin? Lakin lil-istidrak ba'ad al-nafi. Lakin comes for istidrak. What does istidrak mean? Istidrak means that you correct a possible misunderstanding. When you use lakin, so you said something, then there might have occurred a possible misunderstanding or incorrect understanding from that sentence. So in order to remove that misunderstanding or that wrong thought from the side of the speaker or the audience, you use lakin. So that's what istidrak is, okay? So lakin comes to remove any misconception, any wrong notion, any wrong understanding by the sentence before it. Understood? The ma'atuf, in other words. Okay? Now he's saying ba'da nafi. When it occurs after nafi. This will be when lakin is used with two individual words. For example, simple example, I say ma ja'ani zaydun walakin amrun. That Zayd did not come to me. Rather Amr. Meaning rather Amr did come. Then Zayd didn't come to me, rather Amr came. Now where's the misunderstanding? The misunderstanding could be you can say Ja'ani Zaydun walakin ma ja'ani Amrun. Zayd and Amr, they are very thick friends and they're always together. So the possible misunderstanding is that because Zayd came, Amr was also there. And so by using lakin, you remove that misconception that no, only Zayd came. Zayd came alone this time. He didn't come with his usual partner, with his usual friend, Amr, but he came alone. Okay? Now he's saying ba'da nafi. Now, what this means is if you're using lakin between two single words, then it can only be used with nafi. The sentence must be in manfi. Ma ja'ani Zaydun walakin Amrun. Zayd didn't come to me, rather it was Amr that did come to me. So you got Zayd and Amr before and after lakin. So if you're using two single words, mufarrad wa tafarrud, then this is the condition. It must be a jumla manfi. It must be a negative sentence. But if there are two sentences, then it doesn't matter. It can be musbat, can be manfi. I repeat, ba'da nafi, after a negative, meaning ma or la, this will only apply if your sentence, if the lakin is coming between two single words. Your ma'atuf and ma'atuf alayh, before and after lakin, are single words. For example, ma ja'ani zaydun walakin amrun. Okay, so zayd and amr before and after lakin. So if it's two single words, then it's fine. But if it's lakin comes between two sentences, then it can be musbat or can be manfi. Doesn't
Manfi.
matter. Can be negative, can be positive. جاءني زيد ولكن ما جاءني أمر, like that. Okay, or
Ji.
زيد غائب ولكن أمر حاضر. Okay, like that,
Ji.
for example. If it's two sentences, it doesn't matter. Yes, if it's two single words before and after lakin, then it must be, it can only be a negative sentence. You understood that?
Ji.
Now, although, now also another thing must keep in mind is here that lakin with a sakin and lakinna, which is a harf mushabbaha bil fi'l, the same thing applies. Both are used for the same purpose. It's just that because lakinna is part of huruf mushabbahatu bil fi'l, imna anna lakinna, later in la'alla, and here we're discussing huruf al-atifa. That's why the author did not mention it. Otherwise, both words are used in the same way. Okay?
Ji.
Then it's saying fayakun. Now, what will be the outcome of this? What will be the result of this? فيكون موجبه إثبات ما بعده. Understand? So by lakin coming in a negative sentence, it will prove the opposite, meaning it will prove a positive for whatever appears after it. So like ma ja'ani Zaydun, Zayd did not come to me. Walakin amrun. However, Amr what? Amr did come to me. Okay? Opposite of the
Ji.
first half. You follow? So it will
Ji.
change from negative before to positive after. However, right? So that is the work or the function of lakin, to change the sentence coming after it to a positive. فَأَمَّا النَّفْيُ مَا قَبْلَهُ, as regards the negative sentence before it, فَثَابِتٌ بِدَلِيلِهِ, this will be established by its dalil. What is its dalil? The ma or the la. Ma ja'ani zaydun, or la yaji'u zaydun. So
Ji.
the la or the ma, the harf nafi in that sentence is giving us indication to the negative or for the sentence before lakin. Okay? And lakin, all lakin does is to affect the sentence after it, not before it. It has nothing to do with the sentence before it. It only affects the sentence after it. Okay, by changing the negative into positive. Again, I'm repeating, when you have two single words before and after. Okay? Otherwise,
Ji.
if it's two sentences, then it will do whatever, understand? So if it's two sentences, then obviously it will depend on what comes first. If a negative comes first, then it will be positive after. If a positive comes first, it will be negative after, and so forth. Okay?
Ji.
Now I'm saying the condition of this. When does this work? How does this work? So you say, وَالْعَطْفُ بِهَذَا الْكَلِمَةِ إِنَّمَا يَتَحَقَّقُ عِنْدَ اتِّسَاقِ الْكَلَامِ. That using this particle for atf will only be realized, will only be established when there's ittisaqul kalam. Then when there is ittisaqul kalam, when the sentence is consistent, you can say. Now, for
Ji.
ittisaqul kalam, there are two aspects or two conditions, if you want to say two aspects or two conditions. If both these conditions are found, then there's ittisaqul. This is important. If you don't have it in your kitab, you can write it down.
Ji.
If these two conditions are found, then only there's ittisaqul kalam. If any one of these two conditions are found, there's no ittisaqul kalam, and then this lakin cannot be used for istidrak. Okay? What's the two
Ji.
conditions? Number one condition, the first condition is that the subject matter that you are speaking, there must not be any pause between the first sentence and the second sentence. There must not be a pause, a stop between the first sentence and the second sentence. So, for example, if I say, Ma ja'ani Zaidun, and I kept quiet, and then after like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, I said, Lakin Amrun. And so that pause will not be, because of that pause, Lakin will not be connected to the previous sentence. Okay?
G.
It will be
G.
Jumla Musta'nifa, as was mentioned in the beginning. It's like a new sentence I'm starting. Okay? For the atfi
G.
to be correct, Lakin must follow immediately after the first sentence, irrespective of who's saying Lakin. Okay?
G.
That's the first condition. Second condition for itisaq, for consistency, is that what you are speaking about, the subject matter, in the first sentence, meaning before Lakin, must be different to the subject matter after Lakin. It cannot be the same thing. Like I said, Ma ja'ani Zaidun, walakin Amrun. Zaid and Amr is two different people, yes?
G.
So I can't say Ma ja'ani Zaidun, walakin Zaidun ja'a. That doesn't make sense. That's what you call, that's contradictory. Zaid didn't come to me, but Zaid came to me. You can't use Zaid, you can't, that will be incorrect. So Zaid is the subject matter of the first sentence, Ma ja'ani. I'm negating his maji'ah. I'm negating the fact that he came. So whatever comes after lakin has to be something else. Lakin amrun. Okay? However, amr did come to me. Okay?
G.
So again, the second condition, the subject matter of the sentence before lakin and the subject matter after lakin must be different.
G.
Okay?
I wrote
I'm repeating
G.
it here.
I wrote it already.
Okay. So again, for itisaqul kalam, so this is what we call itisaqul kalam. And this word will only be used for atf, or the word using this word for atf will only be established when we have ittisaqul kalam. Ittisaqul kalam means that there was no pause between the first sentence and lakin, the sentence was lakin, and number two, that the subject matter of the first sentence before lakin and the sentence after lakin is different. فإن كان الكلام متسقا يتعلق النفي بالإثبات الذي بعده. So when the speech is muttasiqan, consistent, then only will the negative be connected to the positive sentence after it. Okay, ما جاءني زيد, لكن only then will ما جاءني be connected to لكن زيد. وإلا, otherwise, if this is not the case, if any of these two conditions are not found, فهو مستأنف, then it will be considered to be a separate sentence, a beginning of a new sentence. لكن will begin a new sentence. Okay, unconnected to what is discussed before. This is the majazi meaning of it. Okay,
G.
so hakiki meaning is istidrak with these conditions, and the majazi meaning is istinaf, the beginning of a new sentence, if those conditions are not met. You following so far?
G.
Okay, let's see now how
Uh,
this here.
Masarid.
Yeah, so let's see how this
Okay.
works in the example here.
Okay. مثاله ما ذكره محمد في الجامع الكبير إذا قال. This example is what Muhammad mentioned in Jami al-Kabir إذا قال,
مثل
when he
عليه.
says رحمة الله عليه, that when he says لفلان علي ألف قرض, that I owe so and so 1,000 as a loan. فقال فلان, then so and so say لا ولكنه غصب, and says no, but it is usurped money. لازم والمال, the wealth, the money will be binding on him. لأن الكلام متسق, because the speech is consistent. فظهر أن النفي كان في السبب دون نفي المال, نفس المال. So it becomes clear that the negation was in the reason, not in money itself.
G. So let's look at
وكذا.
this example. So this example is what Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayhi has mentioned in his Kitab al-Jami al-Kabir, that if somebody says li fulan, I owe so and so 1,000 1,000 rands, for example, in our currency, 1,000 rands as a debt. And you got alfun qardun. I suppose you could read qardan as tamir, which is what we normally do. Wallah alam. Anyway, khair. So I owe 1,000 rand to so and so as a debt. As a debt because I borrowed some money from him. I owe him 1,000 rand. Now that person to whom, now this is an iqrar, this is admission of debt, admission of guilt, in this case debt. Now the person to whom I owe the money to, he immediately said, La, walakinnahu ghazbun, no. Understand? Meaning, it's not din, well, no, rather it was usurped money. Yes, you owe me the money, but not because you borrowed money from me, but because you took it from me. I never borrowed your money. What you talking about? You took the money from me without my permission. Understood?
جي
Okay, so now I think lazimahul mal, that it will be compulsory upon the person who made the admission to give the 1,000 rand. Why? لأن الكلام متسق. Because in this case here, the speech is consistent. That number one, immediately the person responded, لا ولكنه غصب. Number two, uh, um, so there was no pause. Since there was no pause. And number two, uh, what he was speaking about is different to what the person spoke about. That person was speaking about a debt. He's saying, no, it's not a debt. It is ghasab. So this la is not connected to the money. He's not saying, no, you don't owe me money. Understand? He's
جي
not saying you
جي
don't owe me money. What he's saying is, no, la laysa huwa qarz. What he's denying is the cause of the debt. Why is it that you owe me 1,000? And not because of debt, not because of qard, but because of ghasab. So that is, in this instance, the negative will be connected to the positive. Okay? You follow? Because
جي
it is itisaqul kalam. فظهر, so it becomes clear أن النفي, that the negative when he said لا ولكن, and كان في السبب, he was to negate the cause of the debt, that why do you owe me the money. دون نفس المال is not negating the money itself, that he owes the money. Understood? So this is
جي
an example of where both conditions are found, so therefore it will be correct. Now, why I'm stressing on the conditions, because he's going to give examples, number 3 and number 4, where one of the two are missing. Same way, where condition number 1 is missing, what will be the result? And where number 2 also is missing, what will be the result, and what will be the result of the condition being missing? Okay, what do we mean by that? So
جي
that's why you just keep that in mind. Okay, now I give you a very similar example in the next example. وكذلك لو قال, and similarly if the person says لفلان علي ألف من ثمن هذه الجارية, and the same thing will apply, that if a person has to say that I owe somebody 1,000 rand. Why? Mini sababiya. Why? Because of the payment of, or the purchase price for this particular slave girl. I owe somebody 1,000 rands, for example, as a purchase price, then in lieu of a price, in lieu of the money for this particular jariya, so this particular slave girl which I bought from him. For qala fulan, so that person for whom the muqarra, we call it the muqarra. Mukir is the person admitting the debt. Aqarra yukiru, mukir
جي
ismul fa'il, the person admitting to the debt. Muqarra lahu is maf'ul, for whom the admission is being made. So for example, Zaid said, I owe Bakr 1,000 for the slave girl. Bakr responded by saying, La, no. Al jariya to jariya to, the slave girl belongs to you. Walakin li alayka alfun. However, you do owe me 1,000. Understand? So here
جي
again, يلزمه المال, that it will be compulsory upon him to pay that money, right? Because it is itisaqul kalam. There is no pause between what he said and the lakin, number one, and number two, what was spoken about is different. And he's saying it was because of the slave girl. He's saying no, it's not because of the slave girl, because of some other things. And he didn't mention it doesn't mention what, but indicating the reason for the amount being owed. So again, the subject matter in the sentence before lakin and after lakin is different. So this itisakul kalam, consistency in the speech. فظهر, so it becomes clear أن النفي, that the negation when he said لا الجارية جاريتك was for the sabab, was the cause of the money being owed. He's negating the cause for why the money is being owed. لا في أصل المال is not negating the fact that the person owes him the money. Okay?
جيم.
Understood that?
جيم Malan.
Okay, any question?
No.
Okay, the third example is what I told you. We is going to give both scenarios, understand? And what will be
جيم.
the result? Where the conditions are found and where one of the conditions are not found. For example, in this case here, in this example, there will be a pause. So what will be the result? And in a fourth example where the subject matter is the same, and what will be the result? You mentioned both surahs, so where the conditions are met and where the conditions are not met. So number 3 is a bit not complicated, but it requires a bit explanation. So we'll inshallah keep that for tomorrow. Hopefully, inshallah, things will be back to normal tomorrow, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So it was raining again today.
Yeah, it was raining.
Okay,
It's
I'm gonna make
just
it
stopped
easy.
now. I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna make it easy, inshallah. Protect the wealth, health, and the properties of the Muslim world, inshallah.
I mean,
So any questions?
no question.
Okay, inshallah. سبحان الله بحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.